What terrifying event is happening in the world right now that most people are ignoring? Insect numbers are absolutely plummeting. There is about a 2.5% loss in terms of mass per year. Without insects, the food chain will collapse. The effects of this are already starting to be seen. As a child, I remember chasing butterflies all over my grandparents' yard. Now I get excited if I see one a week. We have started reducing our lawn area and replacing non-native plants with natives. In the past 2 or 3 years, we have seen a big increase in insect life in our yard: praying mantises, bees of many kinds, beetles, and many butterflies, including monarchs, fritillaries, and black swallowtails. This is a significant step everyone can take. Insects need a supportive habitat. My country is on fire. It was also on fire a month ago, but then it stopped for a few weeks. Canadian? I'm sorry to hear that. Fires are bad here this year. Had the largest burned area ever in Nova Scotia this year. I live in North Carolina. 2 days ago there was a hazy, almost fog-like effect on a perfectly sunny morning. I thought it was just a weird weather effect. Turns out it was smoke from Canada. I mean, that's more than halfway to Florida. No offense, but have you asked the trees to chill the fuck out? Cats dying of bird flu in Poland, mammal-to-mammal transmission confirmed. Wow, can you send the source? I didn't know that it can transfer between cats. Not just cats, but seal as well, and we are seeing other mammal being contaminated as we speak. Evidently the bees are dying out, and once they do, we're all fucked. Not a bee expert, maybe someone who can explain further. Not just bees, all insects. Bees are just the poster boys for insect because of humans' affinity with them for producing honey and because bumbleboys are cute. If I'm honest, they get too much attention to the detriment to other species. Older people, I am sure, can remember when driving in the summer meant bug-splattered windshields. I no longer see this in the area that I have lived in for all of my life. Heatwaves in India killing possibly thousands of people. It's not in the media anywhere and is probably also going on in other countries such as Mexico and southern US. A civil war and possible genocide going on in Sudan right now. No one cares, not even with the potentially thousands or maybe even millions of refugees this creates. Possible human health catastrophes incoming with all the poisonous and cancerous chemicals coming from microplastic, pesticides, and so many other beauty products we use daily, which scientists have been warning us about for decades. No one is interviewing these scientists anymore, writing about the problem anywhere, or even trying to find out what kind of actually health hazards will evolve from our careless use with all these chemicals constantly. Dude, I shifted cities here in India for med school and it's been 2 years. Last year there was not much heat to deal with, but this year was scorching hot, temperatures going to 44 to 45 degrees Celsius, and our city only got rain 2 days ago. If it is due to climate change, which it most likely is, then we are absolutely fucked. Human body cannot tolerate temperatures over 47 degrees and the margin is so close. The rise of surveillance capitalism and AI. Privacy is essentially non-existent anymore, and it feels like absolutely no one cares. The golden age of privacy is dead, and we're entering a far scarier era without it. America has several mega businesses based solely on the brokering of data. The US will never have meaningful privacy legislation save for a complete turnover in government and a new privacy bill of rights. Bacterial resistance. Due to the overuse of antibiotics and bacterial evolution, bacteria are able to develop itself and change its DNA and cellular structure to become immune to antibiotics. Now there's certain infections which can't be treated with the same antibiotics that were effective 10 to 20 years ago. In the near future we may return to pre-antibiotic age in which simple lung or urinary infections can kill us simply because we don't have effective antibiotics. Slave mining in Congo. Taiwan. Sex trafficking at all-time high in world. Slavery at all-time high in the world. Shocked that nobody talks about all of the insider trading in Congress from both sides. Least terrifying I know. It is wild to me how blatant the insider trading is from prominent congresspeople on both sides. The right likes to dig on Pelosi for it, and she's definitely suspicious, but she might not even be top 5 in suspicious earnings. It is complete and obvious dog's hit that congresspeople can make trades while in office. I'm pretty pro-markets, but it's just hog's hit to see. Environmental reporter here. I write about many of these things: avian flu, coral reefs, fires. It's frustrating because so often these stories get lost in the noise. From my experience, people have a very small appetite for negative news, especially if they feel that they can't do anything about it, and fill up first on other things like politics. Avian flu virus mutated in Poland. Now it can infect cats and the mortality rate is close to 90%. It even infects cats that never leave houses. The epidemic will probably spread to whole Europe, because birds are the vector. It is possible that it can mutate to allow transmission from cat to cat and then from cat to human, possibly even from human to human. Mortality rate in humans is 50%, COVID is like 0.5%. If it mutates, there will likely be a pandemic that will kill probably at least 1/4 of the world's population. Did you know that the more deadly a virus is, the less pandemic potential it has? This guy Plague Inc. Depends on the incubation period, how the virus sheds, and other factors. Lethality is not inherently a limiter. UAP disclosure. This story is being covered by the media with a lot of skepticism, which I suppose is fair. They are letting you put the pieces together, which is, a significant amount of whistleblowers that are being described as very credible have brought classified evidence to Congress that says we have secret operations that deal with non-human intelligence being active in the planet Earth. Enough evidence that it has the members of the Senate Intelligence Committee fully funding a task force to uncover this, create future public hearings with the whistleblowers, and enact laws to protect the current whistleblowers and encourage more whistleblowers to come forward. Those are the facts, speculation and skepticism to the side. Those facts alone are incredible, and I wish that more Americans understood that this is happening. Humanity is getting evidently dumber and nobody fucking cares. I don't think people are getting dumber, just louder and more evident. Social media has become a stage where stupidly shines bright. We are currently in the middle of a huge push back towards mysticism and away from logic/reason in the West. Man, this is such a brilliant way to put it so that you don't get downvoted into oblivion. I completely agree. There's genocides occurring in Yemen and China. There's a roaring slave trade in the Middle East and Africa, and human trafficking is at an all-time high, modern era obviously. The insect population is being decimated by a mix of climate change and harmful pollutants and pesticides being used. The world's economy is really struggling, and we could see some major crash soon, which won't be prevented because of the corruption at the top. There's a scary rise in misinformation that led in part to the deaths of insane amounts of people from COVID and vaccine misinformation. This means the next one could be catastrophic. There is a virus currently in Africa that may spread like COVID that has a much higher chance of killing people, though thankfully it looks like it's being contained. That's all I have off the top of my head. The world is kind of fucked, but I have hope we will still recover and thrive. The fact that China is still actively committing a genocide and nobody is talking about it. Yeah, this one is always the most interesting to me. Pretty much everyone these days is quick to compare people to Nazis, and claim they would never have let that happen in their country / would have done something to stop it, while they actively ignore a literal Holocaust happening right now. But who cares, they make my iPhone for cheap. Climate change is making large parts of the world unlivable and uncultivable. We will see billions of people who need to move or die pretty soon. I think no matter how you look at it, the world is headed towards a mass die-off of billions of people. We just kinda assume that the human population can keep growing indefinitely, not realistic, and with so many problems all threatening us at the same time. No way all of us can survive it.